Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the 7F assignment. Okay, first problem's number 1. Find in gradient intercept form, otherwise known as slope intercept form. That's what you're more familiar with. Find the equation of the line through 2, -5, having a slope of 4. Okay, I would highly suggest using this point slope formula. That makes life a lot easier. So if we do that, we're simply, here's your x1 and your y1, and then gradient is the same thing as slope, which is your m. So all you gotta do is plug and chug, and away you go. Okay, so A, we've got y minus -5 equals m, which is 4, times x minus 2. And then all we're going to do here is just solve this thing for y. Distribute the 4 through to both of these here, and we get 4x minus 8. Let's see, not add, but subtract 5 from both sides. And we get y equals 4x minus 13. Good? Okay. E, same idea. There's our x1, there's our y1, and there's our slope. So we'll do y minus 3 equals -1/3 of x minus -1. Okay? So we get y minus 3 equals, distribute that -1/3 through, -1/3 x, -1/3 times 1 is -1/3, and then add 3 to both sides. And we get y equals -1/3 x plus 2 and 2 2 2/3 would be our equation for that one. Okay? All right, next problem. Find the equation of the line in general form which passes through these points. So general form, we're just going to stick for now with, we're going to stick with just slope intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so similar to the one that we just did, except we don't have the slope. So what we're going to want to do first here is find the slope. So slope is going to equal 8 minus 3 over 4 minus 2. Right? It's the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 for the slope. So that's 5 halves, and you can just leave it like that. That's fine. Okay, and then now we're going to use our point slope formula, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Right? So that's a handy formula to use. I'm going to use that with one of these 2 points, and it doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm going to choose the nicer of the two, so I'm going to choose A, but it'll work with either one. So we'll do y minus 3 equals m, which is 5 halves. Or, you know what, I'm going to turn that 5 halves into a decimal, which is 2.5. So I'm going to do 2.5 times x minus 2. Okay? Y minus 3 equals 2.5x. Distribute this through to both of those. Right? 2.5 times -2 is -5. So we add 3 to both sides. And we get y equals 2.5x minus 2. Okay? Okay. The back of the book is going to give you a different looking answer. It's going to give you the general form. But again, we're going to stick with slope intercept. So if you actually look on your assignment sheet, I give you the correct answers for these, at least in this slope intercept form. Okay. E. Let's find the slope first. -2 minus -1, and again this is the slope, over -1 minus 5. So that gives us -1 over -6. So that's just 1/6, right? Okay. So let's see. Oops. So we've got that for our slope. Let's pick one of these 2 points. I'm going to use this one because it's got one less negative in there, and plug it into the point slope formula. So we got y minus -1 equals m, which is 1/6 times x minus 5. So we get y plus 1 equals 1/6 x minus 5/6. Not very nice, but I guess we'll have to go with it. Subtract 1 from both sides, and we get y equals 1/6 x minus 1 5. Oops, not 5/5, but 5/6. 5/6. Okay? Sound good? Good. All right, let's move to the next one here. All right, this one here, does 3, 4 lie on the line with equation 3x minus 2y equals 1? Okay, so to figure out if this does lie on the line, all we have to do is plug in the x and the y, and see if the equation works. Okay, so we're going to just do 3 times x, which in this case is 3, minus 2 times y, which is 4. Does that equal 1? 9 minus 8, does that equal 1? Yep. So yes, it does. It lies on that line. All right. Moving on. Number 7. Find k if 3, 4 lies on the line. Okay, so same idea as the number 6 that we just did. 3 times 3, because x is 3, y is 4, minus 2 times 4 equals k. So that's 9 minus 8 equals k. So 1 equals k. Okay, so it's just formula substitution. All right. Number A, find A, given that A3 lies on the line with equation y equals 2x minus 1. So let's plug in what we know. So again, this is our x and this is our y. So we got 3 should equal 2 times A minus 1. And now we solve. Add 1 to both sides. 4 equals 2A. Divide both sides by 2, and we get A equals 2. And you can always double check to make sure that it works, and it should work out. Right? So 2, 3. So 3 equals 2 times 2 minus 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 equals 3, so we know we have it right. Okay? All right, number 9. A straight road is to pass through points A and B, which are 5, 3, and 1, 8. Find where this road meets the road given by x equals 3. Now, I get a lot of questions on this because people are always seem to be confused as to what the heck they're talking about here. So what they're saying, let's ignore the y equals 4. Let's just do the x equals 3. Okay, so here's the line where x equals 3. Okay. So it says, find where this road meets the road given by x equals 3. So what they're saying is, what the heck is that point right there? That's what they're asking us to find. Okay. So in order to find that point right there, what we're going to probably want to do is, well, what we are going to want to do is we need to know what the equation of this line is here. Okay. So we have to find the equation of the line with 1, 8 and 5, 3. Okay, so let's find the slope first. So we'll go 3 minus 8 over 5 minus 1. So that gives us negative 5 fourths, which is negative 1.25. So you can either use negative 5 fourths or negative 1.25. I'm a little bit bigger fan of decimals than fractions. Okay, so I know that that's my slope. I'm going to use that slope and pick one of these 2 points. I'm going to try 1 and 8. It doesn't really matter, but to find the equation line. So we do y, it's going to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, right? So we've got our, I'm going to call this my x1 and this is my y1. So we go y minus 8 equals m, which is negative 1.25 times x minus 1. Okay, so y minus 8 equals negative 1.25x, and then negative times negative is positive 1.25. Add 8 to both sides, and we get y equals negative 1.25x plus 9.25. That's the equation of the road here. Okay, so that doesn't necessarily answer our question, but it does give us enough information where we can answer the question. So if we're looking for this coordinate right here, we know that the x coordinate has to be 3. We now have to figure out what the y coordinate is. Okay, so all we have to do now then is just plug that in. So for part I, we're going to plug in 3 for x right here. So we got y equals negative 1.25 times 3 plus 9.25. Okay, so that's going to give us negative 3.75 plus 9.25. So y gives us, just to make sure I don't mess this one up, there we go, negative 3.75 plus 9.25 gives us 5.5. Okay, so this is 5.5. So for part I, find where this road meets the road given by x equals 3. So there's our answer for part I. And then for part I, y equals 4. So now we have this line here, and we want to figure out what that intersection point there is. Okay, so this point right here, we don't know the x, but we do know what the y value is, and the y value is 4. Okay, so what we're going to do for that is we're going to plug 4 in for y on this equation here to figure out what the x is. Right, so we'll do 4 equals negative 1.25x plus 9.25. And we're going to get x by itself, so subtract 9.25. Right, and we get negative 1.25x equals negative 4.25. Divide both sides by a negative 1.25. And we will get what x is. So let's just go 4.25 divided by 1.25, because we know the two negatives will make the positive, and we get x equals 3.4. So that coordinate right there, instead of the, let's see, this coordinate right in there is going to be at 3.4 and 4. Okay? Okay, except for a little error up here. So 4 minus 9.25 is 5.25. Divide, and then we take 5.25 and divide it by 1.25. We actually get 4.2 instead of 3.4. Sorry about that. Okay, so not 3.4. Let's get rid of all that. Make it look a little nicer. And sorry, instead we get 4.2. So this is 4.2 and 4 is this point right there. Okay? Okay, let's look at number 10. Find the equation in slope-intercept form with slope 2 and y-intercept 7. Okay, so ready? They give us everything that we need, because just y equals mx plus b, right? graph, we've got y equals mx plus b. B is the y-intercept and m is the slope. So this one's going to be y equals 2x plus 7. Done. C, y equals negative 3x minus 1. Because there's your slope and there's your y-intercept. Okay? Y equals, it's got a slope of 0, so it's 0x plus 8. So the best answer for that, since it's 0 times x is 0, it should just be y equals 8. Okay? Undefined gradient is, so let's see it. How about let's back up. The gradient of 0, slope of 0 means a perfectly horizontal line. Undefined gradient is a perfectly vertical line. So vertical line through 2, 5, okay, is, again, you can't do y equals undefined x plus 8. That doesn't even make sense. But if you've got a vertical line through the point 2, 5, so let's do this. Ugh, that's terrible, terrible line. There we go. We got, there's our y, and there's our x. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and it's undefined gradient, so that's this here. If you'll remember, when we're finding equations of lines that, like vertical and horizontal lines, this crosses through the x axis, so it's going to be x equals, and that's whatever the x value is here, because all along this entire line, x equals 2. So that's going to be the equation of that line. Okay? All right, number 11. Find the equations in slope-intercept form of the illustrated lines. Okay, so we know this right here is at 1. Okay, so really all we need to do is find, we know what the y-intercept equals 1, so that's part of it, and then we just need the slope, right? So a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to just make this into a coordinate. So this coordinate here is, doesn't have any x value, so the x is 0 and the y is 1. So this is 0, 1, right? So if I'm going to find the slope, I'm going to go 3 minus 1 over 2 minus 0. So that's 2 over 2, which is 1. So that's our slope. And there's our y-intercept. So then we would just write y equals 1x plus 1. Or just y equals x plus 1 is your better answer. Okay. Same thing. See, there's no movement on the x-axis. We just went down 1 on the y, so that's going to be 0, 1. Okay, so to find the slope, I'm going to go 3 minus negative 1 over 3 minus 0. So that gives us 4 thirds is our slope, and our y-intercept is at negative 1, right? So we'll get y equals 4 thirds x minus 1. There's our equation for B. Okay. C, there's our y-intercept, so that's at 0, 2. This here is the x-intercept, so that means it goes over 3, but it doesn't go up or down, so that's 3, 0. Okay, so we can find the slope of that by going 0 minus 2 over 3 minus 0. So that's negative 2 thirds is our slope, right? And then 2 is our y-intercept, right, from right there. So our equation is going to be y equals negative 2 thirds x plus 2. Okay? Last one. Number 11. Find the equations in slope-intercept form of the illustrated line. So let's find the slope and find the y-intercept, and then away we go. Right? Or actually, let's find the slope and then plug in one of the 2 points into the point slope formula, right? Which I'll write up here. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so let's do this. 5 minus 3 this is our slope, over 1 minus negative 2. So that gives us 2/3 as our slope. Okay, so if we plug that into the point slope formula, we got y minus, and pick either one. I usually like to choose the ones that have both positive. So there's my y minus 5 equals x, which is 2/3 times x minus 1. Right, so we get y minus 5 equals 2/3 x. 2/3 times negative 1 is negative 2/3. Add 5 to both sides. Y equals 2/3 x. And then 5 minus 2/3 is 4 1/3. You could write it as in decimal form if you want to. That's just fine. Okay. Let's see. So we got D here. Sorry, we did D. Now let's do E. Let's see. This is -1, 0. So there's our 2 points. So to find our slope, let's go 0 minus 4. You can do it whichever way you want. I'm going to do this one first, and then we got -1 minus -3. So it turns into plus, so that's -4 halves, which is -2 is our slope. Okay. Choose either one of those 2 points. They both have a negative in it, but this one's got a 0. 0 usually makes our life a lot nicer, so let's do that. So we got y minus 0 equals m, which is -2 times x minus -1. So that turns into positive, and look, that 0 is gone, so it's just going to be y equals, distribute that through, -2x minus 2. Okay? So that's E. And then F. Let's see, this is -3. It doesn't go up at all, so it's -3, 0. So let's find the slope of that one. So we got -3 minus 0 over 4 minus -3. So that's -3 sevenths. Not a pretty one, but we'll have to go with it. Okay, so there's our slope. And now let's use one of those 2 points. Again, I'm going to choose the one that's got the 0 in it. So I'm going to do y minus 0 equals -3 sevenths times x minus -3. So that turns into x plus 3. So we end up getting y equals -3 sevenths x, and then -3 sevenths times positive 3 is -9 sevenths. You can just leave it like that, or you can turn it into a mixed number if you want. Okay? All right, that's all there is for 7F. If you have any other questions, please ask in class. Thanks.